We'll go ahead and get started here. Started off with the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys had originally the 10th pick in the draft. They actually traded back with division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, and in return got a third-round selection. And with their first-round pick, they took at the 12th overall selection, Micah Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State University. I gave this pick an A. I thought it was really, really nice pickup for the Dallas Cowboys. They have Jalen Smith, who's a linebacker, and they also have Van Der Esch as well. Both those guys are great, but Van Der Esch, it was reported that the Dallas Cowboys will not be picking up his fifth-year option. And Jalen Smith, he is one of the best young linebackers in the NFL, but there's times he gets injured, so they need more guys at linebacker. I thought this was a nice pickup. I would have given this pick an A+, though, but I gave an A instead due to the off-the-field issues with Micah Parsons. I still do not understand why it was not talked about at all. You know, the allegations that happened with Micah Parsons at his time at Penn State. But I thought that was a great pick by the Cowboys in round one. In round two, they took Kentucky cornerback Kelvin Joseph with the 44th pick overall. I gave this pick a C-. I do not like this pick at all. Asante Samuel Jr., the best corner available, definitely there in my opinion. From Florida State was available. I definitely think they should have took him. Another thing, Kelvin Joseph, it was reported that, according to Chad Forbes, over 20 NFL teams completely took Kelvin Joseph off their big board due to his character issues. There's a guy, it seems like every single season, who has a big character issues. And, this year it was Kelvin Joseph and, Micah Parsons, but it's just not being talked about. I do not like this pick at all. I was really, really surprised he was picked here this early. I thought he would have dropped to the mid-third, maybe even fourth, due to all his character issues. And especially with Asante Samuel Jr. being there at 44, I definitely think the Cowboys could have got a better pick there than Joseph at 44. With their third-round selection, they have actually 3 third-round picks. With their first one, they take UCLA defensive tackle Osa Odingizue. I know I pronounced that name wrong, but anyway, I gave this pick a B. He was one of the best defensive tackles available. Defensive line and secondary was the biggest need for the Dallas Cowboys heading into the draft. And, getting defensive tackle here, I thought was pretty smart. There were some better defensive tackles available. I ended up giving them a grade B here with their 75th pick overall in the draft. Their second, third-round pick selection, they took Iowa edge rusher Chauncey Golston in the 84th pick overall. I gave this pick a C because, in my opinion, there was lots of better edge rushers available. Patrick Jones, we've seen some of my videos before. Patrick Jones was my favorite edge rusher in the draft. Definitely think they could have picked him up there. Ellerson Smith from Northern Iowa. There were so many great edge rushers. I don't think Chauncey Golston would have been a top 5 edge rusher, in my opinion, at the 84th pick overall. Here, I think they kind of reached for a team need. It's never good to reach, and especially reach for a team need. I gave this pick a C. It wasn't horrible, but I definitely think the Cowboys definitely could have got a much better pick here at the 84th pick. With their third-round pick, with the 99th pick overall in the draft, they took Oregon State corner Nashawn Wright. I thought this was a pretty solid pickup. Like I said, their biggest need is definitely in the secondary, the corner especially. Heading into the 2020 season, about 5 games in, as Cowboys secondary was literally on pace to go with the most passing yards in NFL history. The defense got better as the season went on, but they can use all the corner help they could need. I think getting Nashawn right here in the third was a pretty solid pickup, so I give this pick a B. The Dallas Cowboys actually have 2 fourth-round picks, and with their first fourth-round pick, I absolutely love this pick here. With the 115th pick overall, they took LSU linebacker Jabril Cox. I gave this pick an A+. Anybody who does not have this pick at A is just absolutely crazy. You got Micah Parsons with the 12th pick. That's a great pick. That's a great value pick, and still, that's the exact same thing that's happened here with Jabril Cox getting him 115th overall. There was talks that he could have been a second-round pick or, definitely a third-round pick. They had 3 third-round picks, and he's, they're available, all 3 of those, and they ended up getting him in the 4th. He was definitely the best linebacker available, and like I mentioned, with Dallas, declining the 5th-year option of Van Der Esch, you have Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox coming into an outstanding linebacker trio with them and Jalen Smith. Another reason I thought this was a great pickup here because, Dallas Cowboys linebacker Sean Lee, who's been with Dallas for over a decade, actually retired several weeks ago. So I think this was a great pickup to give them more depth at the linebacker position. This is definitely my favorite pick here for the Dallas Cowboys. Like I mentioned, I said they had 2 fourth-round picks, and with their second fourth-round pick, with the 138th pick overall, they took Marshall offensive tackle Josh Ball. This pick, in my opinion, was actually kind of a head-scratcher. I understand the Dallas Cowboys need offensive tackle, but Dante Smith, the offensive tackle from East Carolina, was also available. Josh Ball isn't a horrible pick. I gave it a C, but I do think it's a little bit of a reach. Their next pick was 179th overall, and I still think they could have got Ball at that pick. And he's also had some off-the-field issues during his time at Florida State before he was at Marshall. Some sexual assault issues. He was actually no longer able to be on the team at Florida State. And if you're dismissed from the team for Florida State, that kind of shows, that seriously something is wrong and you did something big time and you messed up. And getting Ball here at 138th pick, I think this is a little bit of a reach. It's not horrible. It's not great. I gave it a C. I definitely think the Cowboys could have done worse here, but I absolutely think they could have done much better here with the 138th pick. Like I mentioned, I said their next pick was the 179th pick in the draft, and that is a 5th-round pick. And with that selection, they took Stanford wide receiver Simi Foku from the wide receiver from Stanford. I really like this pick here. I thought he was one of the more underrated wide receiver prospects in the draft. I was actually quite surprised he dropped this far in the draft. I think this was a great pickup by Dallas to even add to their amazing wide receiver core and Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari Cooper. I think Foku here was a great pickup. Can be a depth piece for Dallas. I gave it a B. Outstanding pickup here by Dallas with the 179th pick. Taking best player available over a team need. They actually have 2 6th-round picks, and with their 1st-round pick selection, they take Kentucky defense tackle Quentin Bohanna. This pick was kind of interesting to me. I was surprised he went this early. It appeared that Dallas, that kind of took team need here instead of best player available. I gave it a C, kind of similar to the Josh Ball pick. I think they could have done worse, but I 100% believe Dallas here could have done much, much better. They actually have another 6th-round pick, and with their second 6th-round pick, with a 227th pick overall in the 2021 draft, they take South Carolina cornerback Israel Mukuamama. I definitely mispronounced that name. There's a couple of picks here, they've took that I've just completely butchered their names. I don't think this is a bad pick here, like I mentioned. Dallas's biggest need coming into the draft was corner. They definitely attacked corner early in the draft, taking Kelvin Joseph from Kentucky, another corner as well, and then taking another corner here in round 6. They definitely realized that corner is a big issue and a big reason why their team struggled so much early on in the season. I gave this pick a B. It was a pretty solid pickup here by Dallas. With the Dallas Cowboys' final selection in the draft, they take Nebraska guard Matt Varnick. I gave this pick a B here. The Dallas Cowboys could use some interior offensive line help. Their offensive line was kind of injured some last season. I think this was one of the better players available and definitely the best guard available here. So I think the Cowboys got a solid pickup here with a 238th pick overall. The Dallas Cowboys definitely had an interesting draft. There were some great picks and some not so great picks. But the Dallas Cowboys overall draft grade, I ended up giving them a B+. Isn't bad, but if we look aside from the Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox picks, they really did not have anything great in my opinion.